Are you considering filing for divorce in Illinois? Are you worried about keeping your business? Have you put your blood, sweat, and tears into your business and you're afraid of losing it all in your divorce? If so, it's better to go into the divorce process with a roadmap and knowing your rights. You need to know your rights to things like your business, your retirement accounts, the house, and even the kids. I'm attorney Adam Diamond with Diamond Divorce Law in McHenry, Illinois, and our team has the experience to help you understand your rights and navigate the complicated divorce process. A big concern for most business owners is keeping your business in your divorce. In this video, I'm going to address some major issues you need to consider when you're dealing with your business in your divorce. If you understand these issues, you can determine if you're able to keep your business or if it's worth fighting for. To put it another way, watch this video and you can figure out how to keep your spouse out of your business. See what I did there? Anyway, so I want to go over the 4 major questions you need to think about to figure this out. To figure out what to do with your business in your divorce, you first need to look at the answers to these 4 questions. First, what do you actually own? Second, what is it worth? Third, what portion is your spouse entitled to? And fourth, if you have to buy out your spouse, how are you going to pay for it? Answering these questions may be very complicated and confusing, and could even feel overwhelming. The good news is that a local family law attorney can guide you around these issues and help you focus on the key points. The first thing you need to look at is, what do you actually own? Do you own shares in a corporation, partnership, or LLC, also known as a limited liability company, or do you just own everything in your own name? Corporations, partnerships, LLCs are commonly referred to as legal entities. Owning everything in your own name is commonly referred to as a sole proprietorship. When you have a legal entity, you just own the shares of it or the parts of it, and the entity itself has all the assets and liabilities. In a sole proprietorship, you own all the stuff in your own name, but you also have all the debt in your own name. This is important when determining the next step, which is the value of your business. Generally speaking, the value of a business is whatever someone's willing to pay for it. If you and your spouse agree on this value, then the court's usually inclined to go along with it. If you can't agree with your spouse on the value, then the court will need to make the determination. How does the court do this? It depends on the type of the business and the structure of the business, but generally speaking, the court will look to get an appraisal or a valuation by a business valuation expert. The type of experts and qualifications can vary. For example, if you had a restaurant, you would own the tables, chairs, goodwill, recipe list, and all those things. There is a value to each of these individual things, and then there is a different value of all these things put together as the whole business. Your business valuation expert can show you both these values and help you put it together and present it in a way most favorable to your case. Now, some businesses depend on the particular skill of an individual. In some cases, this may be you. And so the business has little to no value without that individual working in it. In some ways, businesses are like houses. If you need to divide it up, it doesn't make sense to just take a chainsaw and cut it down the middle. Now, the next step is figuring out whether or not your spouse is entitled to all or any portion of your business. To figure that out, you need to determine whether or not your business is considered marital or non-marital property. In Illinois, marital property is usually considered property acquired during the marriage, and non-marital property is property acquired before the marriage. So basically, you keep what you had before you got married, and the court needs to divide up what you acquired after you got married. Now, when it comes to a business, this isn't always that straightforward. If you started your business, and let's say it was a legal entity, like a corporation or a limited liability company, and you owned all the shares, and you started it before you got married, it would probably be considered non-marital property that you keep, and you probably wouldn't have to figure out how to divide it up. On the other hand, if you started your business after you were married, regardless of whose name it's in, it would probably be considered marital property that the court would need to divide. Now, this can get really confusing when you have one spouse that stays home to take care of the kids while the other spouse works on and grows the business. Although this can get really complicated and confusing in a hurry, a good local family law lawyer can guide you through these issues and help you figure out exactly what your fair share is. If your business is considered marital property, you're going to need to figure out how to deal with it in your divorce. If your business is considered non-marital property, you're not going to need to worry about dividing it up in the divorce. For example, if you started your business before you got married, and it was a corporation or LLC, and all the shares were in your name, it's probably going to be considered non-marital property, and you're not going to need to worry about it. On the other hand, if you started your business after you were married, you're probably going to need to look at how to divide that up, or the court's going to look to divide it up in your divorce. If your business is considered marital property and you need to buy your spouse out, the next step is to figure out how to pay for it. If you have access to the money and you can just buy it from them outright, that's obviously the easiest solution. If that's not an option, then sometimes you can trade other assets for their share in the business. Something like, I'll give you the boat if you give me the business. If that's not an option, then you'll need to either find a way to borrow the money or make a deal to pay your spouse over time. If the court's forced to make this determination because you can't come to an agreement, then it'll try to look at the practicality of the situation and find a way for you to at least operate your business going forward. The good news is that help is available. A qualified local family law attorney can help you navigate these issues and create a roadmap for your path to success. They can keep your spouse out of your business. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Anyway, if you're interested in working with our team at Diamond Divorce Law, click on the link to schedule a time to chat with our next available team member. Thank you.